So I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace as you do, and I decided I wanted a project. So yeah, that's got potential. So I nipped in my little van, went to get it. Yeah, it was great. Came back and looked at it a bit closer. And it was still fine, it was still okay. It had a few little things, just like this drawer had sort of dropped off the runner a little bit, so it just needed levelling up. And considering this piece is going to contain a lot of lines, i.e. in the Apothecary style, I needed things to be as straight as possible. So I went in with a little bit of a square kind of, I don't know, dowel, wood glued, and then went in and clamped it, and that did the job. So here I'm just measuring the centre, ready for the router, which I'm dreading. I've never used a router before, as you'll see in the first attempt. But you know, serendipity and all that, it happened to work out for the best because I did it in a really distressed style after, as though maybe the bits of wood had been hodgepodged together, been through the wars, seen different owners. So yeah, and I had a good time bashing all the dents in. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So here I'm just using some clamps to make a line for my router to glide across. As you can see with this router, this square router end, I need it in line with the line. Also, you can see the wood needs moving in a bit. Right, the router. Oh, here we go. Yes, there's my tent. Perfect. Well, perfect if you're not looking at the screen. Basically, I did it too deep at first pass and it sort of gouged out some things, but you know, I went ahead, bulldozed my way onto the second drawer, keeping it shallower with the router bit, and it worked. I did about 5 passes in the end, but yeah, I got the hang of it. I think at this point the only hint of professionalism going on is when I decided to keep some of the sawdust, which I thought would make nice fine bits to add to wood glue for filling in gaps, etc. So yeah, check me out. I want to just stress the importance of wearing some sort of mask. This is what you'd be breathing into your lungs if you didn't have a mask on. So yeah, here's all the router bits. There was a lot. Adorning my mask again, I began to spray these wheels in black to go with that Apothecary style, and I thought it looked pretty cool. So think of all the things you don't want to do and just tack it all out on the drawer front. So, you know, do some woodworm effect, do some bashes, some bangs, some scrapes, just go for it. I've never been a fan of the orangey kind of effect that pine has. So as you can see, when it's untreated, it's a nice sort of bleach looking effect. But to make sure it didn't go back to pine, once I waxed it, I did a little effect with normal, cheap, bog standard acrylic paint. So treat the drawer as though it's paper. wet it, not soaking, not damp, but just in between. And then I squoze some brown acrylic paint on, a bit too much there, just scraping it off. And because the drawer front is wet with the water, it really helps to blend in this brown. And then my favourite effect is actually going in a minute, you'll see, with some black, and it gives it a lovely kind of ashy, browny, grey effect. Of course, the more black you put on, the more of that effect you'll have. And this goes lovely and sort of settles in all the dents and scrapes and everything you did previously. And also helps to give the wood an aged effect. So you don't need, to go out and buy special waxes or dyes or anything like that, varnishes. Just clean your cupboard, your kids' cupboard, your old school cupboard, whichever, and just get the black acrylics out, and definitely the black anyway. Try it with just the black. I mean, I did it with brown and black, but I reckon just black would add a nice effect. It would look probably even older and probably a little bit sun worn, where it goes that silvery grey colour. But yeah, I really like it. I did a few more dents here because I just didn't think there was enough, and I just really like the way the black paint settled in them. Yeah, so carry on until you're happy, and then pop it out in the sun to dry, or somewhere warm, just so it dries that little bit quicker considering it's water on the wood. Yes, you can see the one that I've worked on here is on the left. So I've got a kind of feeling that this chest of drawers was handmade, maybe in someone's shed or at home, something like that, perhaps not manufactured, which is absolutely fine. It makes it even more endearing, but I had to go in and just alter a few things to fit the aesthetic that I wanted, i.e. the Apothecary style. So I needed the bottom of the cabinet to be flat to help take the weight of to put the wheels on to help take the weight of the actual cabinet, because I'd imagine it would be, it is immense. So yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of finessing here. I'm just using a scrap piece of wood here for my little pile of odds and ends to bring the back up in line with the front and the sides so I can attach the wheels. And it happened to be the perfect height. Thank goodness for that.
In the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
So I'd been in the shed enough and it was quite a nice evening, so I thought I'd take the drawers out into the patio area. I just made a little template here, just drew a line so I knew where the middle was, and then put the holes in the cards so I knew that's where the label holders would be. Then I got painting with some Farrow and Ball from a sample tin. I ended up buying 2 of these sample tins, but it still works out cheaper than buying the larger one where I would have had loads left over. So it looks very purpley here, and indeed it did. I won't lie, I was slightly, worried a bit considering it's got the word black in the tile. But as it dried, it did actually go a bit more black, especially when I put the wax on. Planning and hindsight is a wonderful thing. I should have really have done this before I did all the finishing and painting. Well, I decided to put this lovely made in England metal embellishment on it, so it involved me chiselling down into the wood as it is quite thick and I didn't want it protruding sort of higher than the level of the top. So it involved a little bit of, again, finessing, coaxing, willing and hoping that I can do this properly without completely destroying all the work on the top that I've done.